Hello students, our next topic of discussion is electromagnetic induction. It is also known as EMI in short. Okay, so till now we have discussed the electric current can produce magnetic field. Okay, so current can produce magnetic field that we have understood till now, and many types of the magnetic fields we have understood in a straight conductor, in a circular loop, or in a shape of solenoid also. Okay, so because of the current, magnetic field can be produced, that is for sure, and that we have studied. Now completely opposite to this concept can happen, like magnetic field also can produce current. So if it is possible, this is very beneficial for ourselves according to the industrial purpose, and because the usage of electric current is very high in our daily life. Usage of electricity is very high, so it is very important that we can create electric current. We can produce a new electric current by some method. So what is that method? Because of the magnetic field we can create that. How we can create that? This is the topic in which we will study how we can create that. Now magnetic field, if we are having a changing magnetic field, there's a difference in both the terms. We are having a magnetic field over here, and we are having a changing magnetic field. The difference is there. So we need changing magnetic field in a particular area where a conductor is placed. Then only the current can be produced in that conductor, and that current is known as induced current. Induced current. Okay, this induced current has a particular direction, so that direction can be given by a rule that is given by Fleming again, that is Fleming's right hand rule. Fleming's right hand rule give me the direction of induced current. Okay, so what is this right hand rule? Let us first understand that. In the right hand rule, we have taken this right hand, and we have three fingers again, as in the case of Fleming's left hand rule. So these three fingers, thumb, index finger or forefinger, and the current finger, that is middle finger. Okay, if this first finger is showing you the magnetic field which is changing, and this is showing you the motion or the force because of which the magnetic field is changing, then the direction of induced current is given by this middle finger. So remember that Fleming's right hand rule always give induced current direction, and in Fleming's left hand rule the current direction is the simple current direction, simple electric current, that is conventional current direction. It is not induced current. Okay, it will not give me induced current. Only Fleming's right hand rule give me the induced current direction, which is again the middle finger. Okay, so if we know this, then we can find this. Okay, to remember, there is one easy way to remember. This is the force, this is magnetic field, and this is current. So FMC we can write over here. This is F, this is F, force, this is magnetic field, and this is current. Okay, these three fingers we are using: force, magnetic field, and current. Father, mother, child. it is easy to remember which finger represents what. This finger represents father, F for force. This represents mother, M for magnetic field, and this finger represents child, that is current. Okay, so FMC like this, and here also F, M and C. So these three fingers always in use for Fleming's left hand rule and right hand rule. So induced current is given by the Fleming's right hand rule. Now how to produce this induced current? For producing an induced current, I just now told you that changing magnetic field is important. When we can create change in the magnetic field, then this current can be produced. Okay, so how to create changing magnetic field? There are two ways that Michael Faraday did an experiment. In these two ways we can produce induced current, that is given in your book also. Over here we can see the first activity is given on the first experiment, based on first experiment of Michael Faraday, that is Faraday's first experiment, it is said, right? So in this first experiment, what he did, actually he made a setup, very simple setup, having a conductor made up into coil shape, like solenoid shape, around a hollow insulating cylinder. Then it is he has connected this coil with a device known as galvanometer. This is a galvanometer. This type of device tells you the presence of current in the circuit, whether the current is there or not. It does not tell you the amount of current, it only tells you the presence of current in the circuit. Okay, so he has placed a galvanometer over here. It will tell us whether the current is produced or not. Okay, so how he has created changing magnetic field? Here we can see the magnet. If this magnet is moved towards the coil, then magnetic field is changing near this conductor. Okay, because if it is coming close, that means near to the magnetic field is more, and if it is far away, the magnetic field is less. So it is making increase in the magnetic field when it is coming close. So increase in magnetic field means it is changing magnetic field. So that changing magnetic field will create a deflection in the galvanometer, and this will be showing us that there is a presence of electric current in this coil, right? Now if this magnet is moved away from the coil, then also there is a change in magnetic field, that means it is decreasing. So in that case also galvanometer will show deflection, but towards the opposite side, that means the current direction will be reversing maybe. So current is induced whenever the movement of magnet we will see. But if the magnet is stationary, in any case, whether it is here or inside or outside away, if it is stationary, then magnetic field will be same, it is not changing in that case, and then there will be no deflection shown by the galvanometer, which means that there is no induced current in that case. Okay, these three cases are very important according to the examination point of view, and it is always asked this type of question, that whether the current will be produced, induced or not, and whether there will be deflection or not. Like this we can be asked any type of question. There is another method that Faraday did in the activity 13.9. It is given another method to verify this thing, induced current, that we have to use two coils. In this case, both the coils are insulated, are having an insulated cylinder, and they are coiled on that. Both are near to each other, so that one's magnetic field is influenced by another. Okay, so in this case, what is the setup we will understand now. The battery is there, and for coil 1, which is known as primary coil, the battery is providing the current. Okay, so current is flowing in the primary coil, and in the secondary coil where the number of turns we can see it is less, the galvanometer is attached, so that if any current is produced or induced in the coil 2, then it is shown by this galvanometer. Okay, so how the changing magnetic field is produced in this case? As we know that this solenoid shape will have the magnetic field around it whenever current is flowing, and that magnetic field is again very strong, like a bar magnet. So like this bar magnet, magnetic field lines will be there for coil 1, that is primary coil. Okay, if I change this magnetic field, then changing magnetic field will be created over here, and that will induce current in the coil 2, and we can see the galvanometer deflection. Now how to change the magnetic field? We have the key, or we can have a potentiometer, or we can have a variable resistor to change the value of current. As the value of current is changing, the magnetic field will change, and that will induce current over here in the secondary coil. So in this manner, Faraday has discovered two methods that how we can induce an current in a coil, and in these two activities he has explained that concept. So one concept for the Faraday is having a coil and having a galvanometer and having a magnet north south. Another concept was a coil, a battery, and another coil and a galvanometer. Okay, this is primary coil and this is secondary coil. The current flowing in this coil, changing current will give you changing magnetic field, and then changing magnetic field will give you induced current in this case. So what is the direction of induced current? That is given by again Fleming's right hand rule. One important thing that has to be discussed over here, that induced current depends upon how many factors. It depends upon the number of coils, first of all, number of turns you can say, and it may depend upon this magnetic field strength or the strength of the magnet you can say. It may depend upon the speed with which the magnet is going into or towards the coil or away from the coil, and it may depends upon the orientation of the magnet, like if it is north pole is going towards it or south pole is going towards it. Orientation also matters. So induced current depends upon all these factors. Hope you understood all this concept of electromagnetic induction. It is very very important concept, so please do read it from your book also, then only you will get it more. Thank you.